generic coffee cup with no message on it, so I don't have to stick it in your face. I've had it for 10, 12 years. It's my favorite. It says nothing. Courtesy of Oak City Collection. Judd Patterson, proprietor, Smithfield, North Carolina. He also carved and crafted and baked this Arizona State Star, which I just love. It's designed to be a Christmas decoration, but I don't put it on the Christmas tree because it'll get lost in the shuffle. It's just too beautiful. And so the CD of the day is Mr. Bone from Great White. They had a run there in 89 and 90. They had Once Bitten album, because they're still called albums. Then Twice Shy, I think, came out in 1990. And those guys still do it, I am telling you. 1977 to 2024. Jack Russell's not with them anymore, but I always say this, is that every time you hear a song from the archives from the old day, it always reminds you of one person. One person pops into your head. It's never a group of people, it's always one person. And Mr. Bone always reminds me of the venerable and honorable Donna Reed, rock and roll housewife who did a night show at WRDU for a while there, and it was great. And she'd say Mr. Bone, and that was the first time I'd ever heard it was when she played it. That's why it reminds me of her. She'd say Mr. Bone with that wry smile that you could hear on the radio. And I always loved that. Now I've got a syndrome. And I've decided that everybody's got a syndrome nowadays. I mean, you're not normal unless you have a syndrome. And I've just turned into this irritable bastard. It's called the Irritable Bastard Syndrome, IBS. And just let me be an irritable bastard. The older you get, more little things irritate you. And of course, there's always this aspect of it. It's like if they've been bothering you for decades and decades, I mean, it just gets worse and worse. Trust me, it doesn't get any better. And there's no cure. It's incurable, this syndrome, irritable bastard syndrome. And it comes down to the way people talk these days. And well, actually, it's the way people write, because who talks anymore? Text messaging and Facebook Messenger and all these things, and email. Yeah, and it's these words, these new words that people have come up with to expedite their life, shorten words. And I start with IMA, I-M-M-A. And in that group is coupled with finna, F-I-N-N-A. I'ma go. I'ma get you. I'ma get that. I'ma hit that. What? I-M-M-A, finna, which I think comes from the Southern term. It is a Southern term. I'm fitting to, you see. I'm finna get that. I'm finna go. Finna buy that kind of thing. It's just irritating to me when I see that. You don't have to do that, and it's not cool. And I want to visit this word dude, okay? Now, that's something we overused in the 90s, and everybody used it, and it was fine then, I guess, with your hat on backwards and all that kind of thing. And nobody really uses the word dude anymore. I was on an airplane flight just the other day, and a sassy little girl is trying to put her luggage up in her luggage rack, and it's just too big, and she's trying to get it up there, and she's yelling at the guy behind her. She couldn't have been more than 20. She's yelling at the guy behind her, dude, if you wouldn't stay so close up on my ass, then maybe I could get my bag in my luggage rack, Dude. But the one thing I did love about the word dude is that it described every single situation of incredulity. I guess you use this one word, it says the whole story. Dude. They're like, dude. That's what I liked about it, but nobody says that anymore, because when people use the word dude, when I hear it anyway, every now and then, it just makes you feel kind of gross inside. That's just me. Hey, just let me be old, would you? Now, the word crazy, the most overused word in the English language now. The word crazy. Boy, that was a crazy game. Well, what have you said? Nothing. Crazy says nothing. And I think that's because people can't come up with an apt adjective to describe what they're thinking or feeling or saying at that point. And it may be a situation where they're in a crowd of people or something like that, and you can't really say what you really think, so you use the word crazy, which I completely understand. But, when you say things like, like, that was a crazy game, you said nothing, so just don't say anything, or World War II, man, that was crazy. You can't. The COVID killed 3 million people worldwide and still killing people. It's crazy. It's not crazy. Girl the other day was telling me her father got married 6 times. And she would say, God, my father was married 6 times. That's just crazy. It's not crazy. You got to use a better word than crazy. I use these words because it hits the point. It's World War II. That was fucked up. Because it was. That's what it was. COVID has killed 3 million people worldwide and is still killing people. That's fucked. My father was married 6 times. Whew, that's fucked up. Just let me enjoy my irritable bastard syndrome because it's fun to complain. And don't use the word prolly when you're texting me, Prolly. Just don't use the word prolly. Irritates me for reasons unknown. Just write probably. And probably, I think people trying to be cool, and it's not cool. Now listen, I get great joy out of my National Geographic. I still do, even when I was a kid, and it's not because you get to see the African women that are naked. It's not that. That's the old joke. It's not that. It's the fact that, I don't know, after you read a National Geographic, they're so good at what they do for so many billions of years, you just feel smarter. I don't know what the deal is, but speaking of smarter, I'm reading about these cats, these Danish guys, or is that Holland or Denmark? Are they Dutch? I've never gotten that, but these couple of cats, look at this picture, and they're climbing up this 3,750 foot rock slab with jagged edges and different levels, and up into the atmosphere and the ozone where you can't even breathe. Okay, and they're doing with the spikes and the foot braces and all that kind of thing. And these Dutch guys, and they picture here, they're halfway up. If you think about it, 3,750 feet is 2 miles. They're going up 2 miles, this slab of rock, in freezing temperatures in Greenland. You know the saying about that, right? If you want ice, you go to Greenland. And if you want green, you go to Iceland. Another weird Dutch, Hollandish thing. And they say this. At one point, falling ice hits the guy in the face. But the expedition, and I'm quoting this, let him lend his climbing expertise to a scientific purpose, collecting valuable clues about sea level rise and climate change. So that's why the guy's doing that? Are you kidding me? A frigid journey to probe the planet's future. Now, do you think these cats worry about the planet's future or give one rat's ass about the planet's future? I don't think so. And usually they do it with no shirts and with shorts on, these expeditions. But they couldn't this time. They had to use 3 coats because it's too cold. They're hung up on some kind of little challenge they have to themselves, and they get some kind of thrill going into 16-degree temperatures in Greenland, hiking up a rock where you could perish at any moment by falling down. How the hell do you get down is my next question. Okay, let's say you complete the challenge and you've done it and you're, thrilled, and you're up at the top of this, 2-mile, quagmire slab of rock, and you made it. How do you get down? You climb back down? Is that what you do? I'm just hoping, inside that there's some kind of helicopter that picks you up for this. I mean, look at the picture of these guys again. I mean, that's just crazy. And it's not crazy, it's fucked up. Why would you do that?
She says you